Hey, Onya Mark Community. I am so very excited for this episode because we are talking about one of my favorite things, and it's being everywhere. And you'll always know that I'll say quality is better than quantity, but sometimes it pays to be persistent and present. So, hey, I'm Ashley. I'm on the mic, and Anya Mark, get set. Let's watch. Okay, this week we are talking about this ad strategy that's going to get you everywhere AF. And when I say it, I mean it. And here's the deal. If you're just starting your service-based business or you're new to becoming a coach, that's amazing. And a lot of times people will say, hey, don't invest in paid advertising yet. But I'm here to tell you there are a few cutting edge tactics that even if you've got a pretty slim budget, that it can really, really pay off for you to begin to build brand awareness in a very short amount of time. And that is with paid traffic. And the number one thing that I recommend to do that with is video view campaigns. So, in case you missed it, in April of 2021, the iOS update happened and it really shattered the advertising landscape online as we knew it to be. It's caused a lot of people, our agency included, to diversify platforms. It's caused tactics and strategies that worked for a longer period of time to become very quickly outdated. And ultimately, it has been a fun game and puzzle for marketers and strategists like myself to be able to learn how to adapt because the industry is forever and always changing, and we have got to be on our toes. And while I always say that you want to make sure that you have a budget to invest in ads, you don't want to just throw money at your problem, which is one of the things that we will typically pre-screen and qualify our agency clients on. It is very beneficial, even with $10 a day, to try simple tactics to get more visible. And I recommend doing that through video views. And here's why. Before I get into the nitty-gritty, I want to be really clear on what the value of advertising is and what it is not. So, consider this your crash course in paid traffic 101. The number one question that I'm always asked when somebody's determining if they should run paid traffic is, what's the ROI? And to which I say, name one thing in life that you can guarantee an ROI on, right? Because at the end of the day, when you're going into Facebook ads, you should see it almost like the stock market, meaning that you could bid today and your money could be gone tomorrow. And the same with advertising. There's trends and there's patterns and areas that we can really predict. But at the end of the day, it could just take one event, hence a pandemic or a recession, such as what happened with the stock market, to change the game forever. And the same is true with online advertising. Sure, there's predictable patterns and trends that you can follow and take advantage of. But at the end of the day, I tell anyone before they advertise that plan on getting a zero ROI. Okay. Obviously, you don't want to stay there. You want it to be profitable for you. But at the end of the day, there is no guarantee on advertising. And so before you spend your hard-earned dollars, I do want to make that very clear. However, there are incredible advantages once you can get past that leap to being everywhere in online ads. For instance, brand awareness. It's statistically proven that whenever someone is making a purchasing decision, usually of any kind, they'll typically only refer back to the top 3 people that are top of mind if they're making a quick decision. And advertising can help with that. It can help remind people because, sure, everyone wants them to buy their product or service. But at the end of the day, sometimes when you encounter people, even if they're qualified, they may not be ready to invest in your service. They may not be ready to take that step, or they may not even realize that they need what it is that you have to offer. And advertising is a great way to pay for presence to stay top of mind. We all know social media is incredible, but the organic reach that it once had, except for platforms like TikTok, is significantly diminished compared to what it used to be. For instance, Instagram and Facebook used to optimize all posts to post chronologically or in the order of the time that they were posted. So large brands like Forever 21 would post multiple outfits all day, every day, and blow up their feed, knowing that they would continue to get this free publicity and advertising because they would be seen everywhere in the feed. That's no longer the case. The algorithm, you know this, and you've seen this, even if you haven't known how to put words to it, but the more engagement over time that a post gets, first when it's initially posted, and then the more comments and authentic conversations that happen. In other words, not the spamming, like the same words and right? There used to be these engagement pods where the same people would comment on a post, and unfortunately, the algorithm is smart enough to detect this, right? It's a little bit harder to get that same reach, and that's where paid traffic can really come in, because ultimately you are paying for presence, you are paying for publicity, and that's why it's important to be everywhere AF, so you can be top of mind when the time is right, that you are the first person that people see when it comes to investing in what you do. So now that we know the why, let's talk about the how. How do we get everywhere? How do we leverage paid traffic even with a smaller budget? Or how do we use smaller budgets to test? And that is this tried and true video views strategy. So, what most people don't recognize about advertising as a whole is that video view campaigns are by far the least expensive campaign to go after, meaning the objective of the campaign is for someone to watch the video on the platform instead of clicking offline. This doesn't work for conversion ads, but it's great for being able to warm up new audiences and test things to see who's engaged with your content and who is not. And so, what's beautiful about these ads is Facebook, okay? Think about it. I always like to think about, from an advertising perspective, who benefits. Well, Facebook makes their money, as you know. It's a free platform. It's social media. It's completely free to use, but of course, they're very profitable. And the reason the company itself is profitable is because of advertising. And so Facebook's income typically comes when people are spending more time on the platform, okay? The longer you are on social media, the more company that Facebook makes, because they get paid off of people seeing their ads. And the longer people stay on a platform, the longer and the more ads that they see, aka the more money in Facebook's pocket. So the way that the Facebook algorithm will typically work is it wants to reward behaviors that keep people and users on the platform for longer. And so video view ads are a great way to do this, because the campaign objective is only to serve people a video. It's to keep people on the platform and to create awareness from a one-time video. And it's a win because the people that engage through that video will become more aware of you, but they will also stay on Facebook for longer, okay? Facebook will optimize this again too based on the engagement and the quality of the video. So if your video is engaging, then there's a chance that it's going to be even more prioritized in the algorithm, and it's going to have more reach. And for you, that means cheaper and way less expensive exposure for your company and your brand. That is the power of video view campaigns. So how do we use them? How do we use them to be everywhere AF so that your clients can know, like, and trust you and figure out how to stay in touch? First and foremost is content. Content is always key. It's always been key. We always like to shortcut it. But when it comes to a successful video view campaign, you've really got to condense this campaign in less than 60 seconds and maybe even 15 seconds. It can be as quick as an attention getter tailored toward the audience that you're trying to call out, a quick value proposition, and maybe a tip on why they should follow you, encouraging them, if they're interested, to like or comment on the video or follow your page, right? The goal of these videos isn't necessarily to get conversions, but you're trying to build up an audience of people, an audience of buyers. And so that's the first step, is making sure your content is concise, that it's clear, they're offering some kind of value, and ultimately you are getting people to stay and watch through the video. The more of the video they watch, the longer they will stay. Okay. Next step is targeting. So the next thing that we want to do is determine the audiences that we want to test. I recommend retargeting has changed drastically since the iOS 14 update. It's very hard, and Facebook doesn't necessarily want people to leave the platform. And quite frankly, now that a lot of the users have opted out of tracking, it's actually not as effective to hit people off of the platform. So the key here is testing a bunch of audiences. I typically recommend doing campaign budget optimization for this campaign, otherwise known as CBO, because it's going to distribute your budget accurately. But the key is making sure your audience sizes are the same and testing a bunch of different audiences to see who you reach the best. We figure this out, and the measure of success is through plays. So what we could do is essentially test a few interest audiences, test some lookalike audiences of your email list and from people that have purchased from you in the past, and layer these to be everywhere. And finally, the last thing that we want to do is retarget and stay everywhere and top of mind for people that are engaging with our social media. So a beautiful thing that you can do, that we do internally, is have our VA reach out to more and more people. the amazing thing about this is, even if they don't respond in return, when they engage with our profile, we can target them in ads. And so we can be everywhere. We can show and serve them ads, and we can use them as audiences to continue to stay top of mind, not to mention to add our past customers and clients to lists to see us, to maybe re-engage them, to remind our current customers and clients to reach out to us. And it's an amazing and effective way to keep that communication open while demonstrating the expertise that we have in our field. And that's the power of being everywhere with ads. And that's how we do it. So again, you're going to run a video view campaign. You're going to create an incredible video, narrow in the audiences that you want to hone in on, and ultimately retarget that video, because this is going to allow you to increase your credibility. It's going to allow you to be present. It's going to allow other people, when your clients comment on this, for their friends and other people to see and have exposure toward what you do. So you can attract more of those people. And ultimately, for when you do run advertising in the future, it is going to allow you to have audiences built up in a less expensive way to bring your overall costs down when you do run conversion campaigns. So that is all I've got. That is how to be everywhere AF. And I would love to know, Onya Mark Community, what takeaways did you have from this episode? What questions do you have about advertising? I would love for you to just drop them in the comments below. Let me know, and I will answer your questions. But in the meantime, take action, get set up, and at least start creating those video campaigns, because if you can just start and create that momentum, you'll never know where you can see it through to. All right, that's all I've got for you this week. Until next week, Onya Mark, get set, let's grow.